Hey, I'm Stephanie, and it's time for a declutter. We're going to switch to the overhead camera in just a second, but before we do, I just wanted to say a quick hello and let you know a little bit more about today's plan. Here's a little bit of context for this declutter. I have been on a makeup no-buy all year and simultaneously doing a bunch of project pans, and that combination has taught me so much about my makeup usage and my preferences. And so I have come to the conclusion that for me, for my tastes, my lifestyle, and just what I want right now, I would really like to streamline my collection. But my work schedule is absolutely crazy over the next several weeks, plus the holidays are fast approaching. So I don't really have the time or the mental capacity right now to do a full-on, deep dive, cutthroat declutter right now, or even this month. But I am itching to get started. So what I did was a quick preliminary pass through, and I just picked a bunch of things that I just know I don't want to carry with me into the new year, especially because I'm going to be seeing friends and family over the holidays. And I have a couple of really beautiful things that just don't suit my coloring or my preferences. And I just feel like it would be so much fun to give those things to people who would really enjoy them. And as a side note, some of the items I'm decluttering will not be shown in today's video because, spoiler alert, not all of the makeup in my current 22 in 22 project pan is surviving direct head-to-head comparison very well. So if you enjoy seeing cosmetics with similar claims being pitted against each other in a battle to the death, or to the declutter in this case, then make sure you're subscribed because that update is coming soon. All right, let's dive into this declutter. I thought I would give these items a brief honorable mention before we begin. These are all things that were decluttered to me this summer, so I already went through them in my auditioning new makeup video. And in that video, I swatched all of these and I talked about exactly why they won't be remaining with me. So if you missed that and you're interested, I'll make sure to link that in the show notes for you. But I just wanted to confirm all of these things are still leaving, so bye things. The next couple of items might look familiar to you if you've been following my 22 in 22 Project Pan series because they've all been in that series. We're going to start with a couple of primers. We've got a mattifying primer and a radiant bronzing primer. This one is the Becca Evermatte Poreless Priming Perfector, and this is just the mini of the same that has never been opened. And it wasn't bad, but I feel like it didn't do a good enough job to make it worth keeping. I found that it slightly mattified my T-zone and it slightly reduced the look of my pores, but in the end, it didn't do enough to justify putting another layer of something on my face because the more layers I put on my skin, the heavier my makeup looks. And that's something I'm trying to avoid. So I figured I would get rid of these two and give them to someone who has oilier skin than I do. This Laura Mercier bronzing primer, on the other hand, I thought was beautiful and it worked really well for me. The only reason I'm giving it away is because I have other products that I can use to achieve the exact same look. And I just tend to reach for those products more than I tend to reach for this. So instead of just letting this languish in my drawers until it expires, I thought I should give it to someone who's going to be able to enjoy it. I also have a BB cream, a CC cream, and a concealer that were all in my 22 in 22 project pan. This IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer, I am going to recycle this. And that's because it was decluttered to me at the same time that my IT Cosmetics CC cream was decluttered to me by my aunt. And I'm not sure how old they were. So I know that the foundation or the CC cream expired because the formula changed and it wasn't sitting right on my face. And because this product goes so close to my eye, I just don't want to risk it. So I am going to recycle this. But if you've been following my channel for a while, you do know that IT Cosmetics does send me product from time to time. And they did send me a fresh tube of this and a fresh tube of this. So I'm going to be opening those, but not right now, just because I want to kind of declutter my collection before I start opening new products. So this one's going to go in the recycling. This one is as well. I used most of it up as you can see, but I would say there's maybe, I don't know, 10 uses left in here. And the reason that I'm decluttering this now is because the formula has just started to change on this. I had it open for about 2 years, so it looks like the lifespan of this product is 2 years once it's opened. So I got a lot of good use out of it and I enjoyed it, but now it is time to go. And this is the Dr. Jart BB cream. And this just kind of sat on my skin in kind of a not flattering way. Like I couldn't, it just always looked streaky no matter what I did, whether I applied it with a brush or a sponge or my fingers. It just never quite looked right. And so I am going to give this one away. Although I have seen that they've recently reformulated this, so I don't know if the new formula is better. I just know that this one, this one was not for me, so it's gonna go. This is the Physicians Formula Shimmer Strip in the shade Miami Strip. And it's supposed to be like a bronzer, highlighter, and eyeshadow product. And I actually think it's really nice. It just doesn't suit my preferences right now because the formula is kind of heavy. It's got a lot of kind of silicone feeling to it. And so I feel like it's too heavy for me to wear on the skin of my eyes. It just kind of like weighs my lids down in kind of an unpleasant way. So I think it might be better for someone with less mature skin. But also I feel like the formula itself is a little bit too heavy on my cheeks and it just doesn't give me quite the effect that I go for when I'm looking for a highlight these days. So since I am not reaching for this anymore, and it is still a useful product, I want to give this to someone who's actually going to reach for it. So it is leaving as well. And I also have some single shadows and blushes that I'm going to be decluttering. This one you've already seen. This is Twilight Mauve from Clinique, and this was in my makeup auditions video. And the reason I'm decluttering this is because I received another shadow that's extremely similar to this this summer, and I like that one better. So I don't need two of the same thing, so that one's going to go. This is a Lancome shadow from like a sample quad that I was given, and I use the other shades, but I don't use this one, and it's beautiful, and I think I actually know who's going to want this one. So I thought I would give it away to someone who would get more use out of it. And then these are two Clinique blushes, and they're not bad blushes. It's just that they don't suit my taste because they have kind of like some glitter particles in them, and that's just not the look that I'm into right now, so I thought I would try to give them away to someone who might like that sort of look. And then this is a shade with a lot of glitter in it that's from ColourPop, and I just don't wear shades with glitter in them like this, so I thought I would give it away to someone who does. This Physicians Formula Butter Blush was also in my project this year, and I ended up really enjoying it when I used it as a blush lighter. It's a little bit too light as a blush, but a little bit too dark for a highlight. It's kind of a nice in-between sort of thing, I guess a blush topper. And of course I enjoy the smell of it, but I also enjoyed using it in general. I would usually just take my finger and tap it onto my cheek, and that was the way I liked it best. But the fact is, I'm not really reaching for this. I think of other things before I think of this, namely like my Clinique Cheek Pop blush in Nude Pop, just kind of is more my taste because this has a little bit of a gold shift to it, and I'm not that much of a fan of that gold of a shift on my face. It's like a very yellowy or like orange yellowy gold, and so I just haven't been into that, and I would much rather someone get use out of this, and so I'm going to pass it on. This Dr. Jart contour set was also in my project, and I did get use out of it while it was in the project, but I just don't reach for it much, and I think it's because this contouring shade here it's like just a little bit too warm and too light for me to use as a contour. They even call it a bronzer, so I'm not even sure you're supposed to use it as a contour, but it's too cool for me to use as a bronzer. It's just like the wrong sort of in between. And this highlighting shade is a little bit too cool toned for me. So because they're not perfect shade matches, I just don't reach for them. I have other products that just work better for me. And then this is the neutralizing shade, and I don't know if it's supposed to neutralize anything on me. It's kind of like a yellowy peach color. And I mean, yellow neutralizes purple and peach neutralizes blue. If I used it under my eyes, it kind of looked dry and crepey. I don't know, it just didn't suit my coloring. None of it did, so it's all going. And then we have the Naked Skin Color Correcting Fluid by Urban Decay. This is the shade Pink, and I just think it's the wrong shade for me. 2 different makeup artists recommended that I get this shade for my under eyes, but I just feel like it's too brightening for what I want. That's why I don't use it. But the thing is, the formula is so nice. It's very smoothing under the eyes. And I think this is actually more of my mom's color. So I'm going to give this to her. These are the lipsticks I would like to declutter, and we're going to talk about why. These two are just old. These were my stage lipsticks for a while. They were by CoverGirl, and it's like their two-step formula. So you have the liquid lip on one end, the gloss on the other, and these were fine. I mean, they were drying like every liquid lip, but they were relatively tenacious. And then I discovered the KVD formula, and that stays even better when I'm on stage. And the only time I really wear a liquid lipstick is when I'm singing, because my lips bump against the microphone and it will often rub the lipstick off the center of my lips. And that would happen less with these, but ever since I tried the KVD formula, that doesn't happen at all with those. So I just kind of moved on. And these are so old that I don't even want to give them away, so I'm going to recycle these. Then we have some other liquid lipsticks. These two are from L'Oreal. It's also a two-step formula because you have like kind of a gloss stick on this end, which makes it more comfortable to wear. I find that these work for me on stage if I'm just wearing a nude color, because then if they rub off on the center of my lips, it's not that noticeable, but they're also not perfect. I decided to declutter these two particular shades because this one has kind of like glitter in it, which I'm not a fan of on my lips because it looks too metallic, and then I have lip wrinkles. Like this kind of emphasizes them when it's metallic, so I don't like that. And this is just in a color that I don't wear, but I think my mom would like it, so I'm going to give that one to her. Okay, here we have a dual-ended lipstick. This is in the shade Life from Tarte. And this is actually like a really nice, comfortable formula. And I do like that. The gloss, I'm not like super crazy about. It's not bad. It's just not really like, I don't tend to wear tinted glosses like this. Like this just looks a little bit too milky for me. So like, I'm not going to reach for the gloss anyway. The lipstick is a very nice color, very nice to wear, very comfortable. But I have the shade Penelope Pink in the Charlotte Tilbury formula, and they're similar enough that I'm always going to reach for this before I reach for this. And so I just thought I only need one, so I'm going to keep this one and declutter this one. Then we have the NYX Butter Gloss lipstick in the shade Snowcap. And this is a beautiful formula. Like if you're looking for a nice, comfortable, creamy drugstore lipstick, the NYX Butter Glosses are so comfortable, so nice. But this shade is a little bit too light and a little bit too pink for me. And I have the shade Bitch Perfect from Charlotte Tilbury. And these aren't dupes for each other, but they're similar enough that I'm going to reach for the Charlotte Tilbury over this one any day just because this color suits me better. And so once again, I'm going to keep the Charlotte Tilbury and I'm going to pass on the NYX. All right, let's look at a couple other glittery formulas. We have this Bite Beauty lip gloss, and it's actually like really beautiful. You can see in the tube how much it glistens. It's got like little tiny micro glitters in there, and they make the lips so shiny, but it's a metallic look, and I just don't enjoy a metallic look. So this one is not for me. This one's gonna go. This is a metallic liquid lipstick. It's Stila's Stay All Day liquid lipstick formula in the shade 2 Dolce, and I really enjoy the color of this, but the fact that it has little micro glitters in it make it look even more dry than a liquid lipstick normally looks. And so this one is going to go. Let's see, what else do we have? Gal Friday from MAC. I so want to love this gloss because I don't know if you can see. It looks just kind of like it's a golden sparkly gloss when it's in the tube. But when you put it on the lips, it's got this beautiful warm pink reflect that comes out. And it's really, really nice. And I just want to wear this because it looks so nice and it makes the lips look so shiny and pretty. But it's such a sticky formula that I just never reach for it. And I figure I don't want it to just sit here. Someone should get use out of this. So if I have a friend or family member who would like this, I think that they should have it because I'm just not reaching for it. This is It Cosmetics Je ne sais quoi in the shade Rose. I must have bought and used up 3 of their normal Je ne sais quoi formula, and then my aunt gave me this one in the Rose shade. And I really used to like these lipsticks because they were so sheer and so easy to wear, and I just didn't wear a lot of makeup, and so that was easy for me. But this is that like pH stuff that's like back on trend now, but I don't like that anymore. Like I stopped liking that pH thing long ago, and even though this is a little bit different, it's got like a slightly warmer shade than the other one did. It's still a little bit too, I don't know, it just looks a little bit too vivid on me. It's just not right. The shade just isn't right for me, but it smells like tea and roses, which I just really like. And so this is a beautiful, comfortable formula. It's just not my color, so I'm going to give it away to someone who will get more use out of it. Then I have this Nude Sticks Gel Color Lip and Cheek Balm, and it's in the shade J Mama. I really tried liking this one. I gave it a good go. I tried it on the cheeks, I tried it on the lips, but the color is just a little bit too light for me, and the formula is just a little bit too heavy and sticky, and so it's just not for me, but maybe I know someone who would like it. And then there's this Tarte Lip Sculptor in the shade VIP. Also, once again, a really nice, easy to wear, comfortable formula, but I just don't reach for this. And the reason is because every time I want a color like this, I usually reach for my Lisa Eldridge Kitten Mischief lipstick. And that one looks like this. So as you can see, they're not exactly the same, but they're similar enough that I really don't need both of them, especially because I'm always reaching for the Lisa Eldridge shade over the Tarte one. So this one can go. Then we have these two lipsticks from Lancome. They're both in the Rouge in Love formula. And the colors of these are really nice. We have shade, what is this? 322M, which is kind of this like pink corally color. Very pretty. And then we have this shade, which is this like very soft, kind of cool pink tone. And that's in 307B. I really like the color of these, but the formula is just not for me. It clings to the dry patches on my lips, even though it's a creamy lipstick, so I don't know how that's doing that. Like, I could understand if it was a matte formula, but this is a cream formula, and it still manages to cling to my my dry patches. And also, if I press my lips together at all during the day, it removes the lipstick. So it gives me a very patchy look, and it's just, there's nothing good about this formula, at least for me. Maybe this works for other people. Maybe it just doesn't work with the chemistry of my lips. And so I'm going to see if someone else wants these, but these are definitely not for me. Then we have this Milani lipstick in the shade 27 Dolce Caramello. And I think this is like the perfect color for me. I adore this color, but this has little tiny micro glitters in it, and it gives kind of a metallic finish on the lips. I just don't feel like it's flattering on my lips. So this isn't for me for that reason, but also because it has those little tiny micro glitters in it, there's a really slight sensation of being like crunchy or rough or like sandy. And I'm just not a fan of that feeling in my lipstick. I'm not sure, like I'm particularly sensitive to textures, so other people might not even feel it, but it's just something that really bothers me. So this one, as pretty as the color is, unfortunately because of the formula, it has to go. Then I have the Hollow Lip Pencil. This is from Trended Up Beauty, which is like a German drugstore brand. And I thought this would look cool, like maybe gloss up some of my more matte lip formulas, because it's like one of those kind of like holographic sort of highlightery formulas, but it's like meant for the lips. It's extremely soft. I don't know if you saw, but like the pencil, the tip of the pencil almost melts, and it's got this very shiny finish, but I just find it looks unflattering on my lips. And so I tried it on my cheeks, and it actually looked really nice as a highlighter. Like it was a nice wet look highlighter, but it just doesn't dry down. It stays tacky, and then my hair gets stuck in it. And so I just don't have a use for this, but I could imagine people who would. So I'm going to pass it on. We've got 3 more lip sculptors from Tarte. And these colors, like this one is just too vivid for me, so I'm just not going to wear it. But I have a feeling like I know people who would, so I'm going to pass this on. And then these two, this one is too light for me. Whenever I wear it, I look like I have, I don't know, I just look too pale and washed out. And this one is a nice color, but I have so many similar colors and formulas that I always reach for before I reach for this. I'm just going to pass this on. This lipstick, I have no idea who makes it. it was decluttered to me, and I don't know where it came from, and I don't know what it is, but this is just not a color that I wear, so I'm not going to keep it. And last but not least, we have this little baby NYX liquid suede lipstick in the shade Vintage Retro. I really like the color of this. I feel like every NYX liquid lipstick I've tried, I've really enjoyed the color of. I feel like they nail the colors, but the formula just does this weird sticky thing when it dries down. So do the lip lingeries. I mean, look at that color. That's so nice. Like, that's really dramatic, but like I wore this and I enjoyed it until I felt it on my lips, and then my lips were sticking together all day, and I don't know. I'm really picky when it comes to like lip texture, and this just doesn't do it for me. So it's going to go to a new home. I'm also going to be recycling this. This is my IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Redness Cream, and oh my gosh, this covers redness like you would not believe. I have rosacea, and sometimes I get so intensely red. It's like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer got a rash. It's pretty alarming, actually, how red my face will get, and this covers it all completely. Like, if I have to go on stage and I've got redness, this is like the product I'll use. And I've tried to use it all, but so little of it goes such a long way that I'm not sure a human could ever go through a whole tub of this, even with the amount of redness that I have, because like you can't overdo this. Like, if you put too much on, it will look cakey, and you don't need to put a lot on. If you put just a thin layer on, it will cover everything. So I think this is actually expired now. And so if I need it again, I will go out and repurchase it. But for now, I'm just going to kind of get rid of this, because this is actually a very old tub of this. This was from before, like they now make this in several shades. This is from before that. They used to only make it in this one shade, and now they make it in several. So I think I might check into that if I find that I need a cream like this. I have some Becca products here that I have never opened and never tried, just because I didn't necessarily feel the need to. This is the First Light Priming Filter, and this is the Backlight Priming Filter. Both of them, I believe, are radiant primers, and at the moment, I just don't really need a bunch of additional radiance because my skin has been so oily of late. So because I've never opened these, I would rather just pass them on to someone who will get use out of them. And this is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. Also never been opened, still sealed. And I just feel like I have the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Glow whatever thing with the insane name. And I also have the Auric Glow Lust. And I just feel like those are very similar products. And so I wouldn't need this one. And because all of these are unopened, I feel like it would be really nice to be able to give this set to someone who likes radiance. And here we have some eye stuff. So let's take a look at this. Here is a single shadow from Kiko Makeup Milano. It is a long-lasting wet and dry use eyeshadow in the shade 218. And this is a beautiful color, but I do have several eyeshadows that are similar. Maybe they're not exact dupes for this, but they're similar enough within my collection that I don't feel the need to necessarily keep this one, especially because I have one that's it's relatively similar in my Natasha Denona bronze palette. And I just feel like I know people who would get more use out of this. As beautiful as it is, and as nice as and sturdy the packaging is, I just don't necessarily need this one. Then we have this Maybelline Tattoo Studio Brow Gel. And this product is a lie. It is not a brow gel. I feel like it's a pomade. And had they advertised it as a pomade, I never would have bought it. But they advertised it as a brow gel. And what happened was my luggage got lost. And so I just needed a brow product. And so I picked this up. And this is not like a brow gel applicator. This is like a doe foot. This is what you would use for like concealer. But I don't know what they were thinking. And like, if you try to like apply just like a little bit of it, like if you do like a really look, see, I tried to go so lightly so I could maybe get like the little tiny hairs of the applicator, and maybe they would brush off and look like eyebrow hairs. But no, this is a pomade. This is not a gel. It's a pomade. And so I think I'm going to give this to a friend who enjoys a pomade, because I think if they were to say take like a brow brush and just take some of the product off of the applicator and apply it with a brow brush, I think they might be able to get a good application, but this just is not for me. Then I have this MAC Super Slick Liquid Eyeliner, and this is just old. I used this a lot. It was like the never-ending eyeliner for me, but now it's getting to the point where it's just kind of gloopy, and I have to say, like, I wouldn't recommend this. Like, I wouldn't go buy it again because I don't like the applicator. I don't know if you can tell, but it's not a brush. It's just like a pointy stick. It's like taking a toothpick to apply your eyeliner. So like, I really liked the fact that it was this like gunmetal sort of thing, but it was really hard to get a fine line with this applicator. I feel like there was always like a degree of thickness to it. There just wasn't a whole lot of control. So now the formula is a little bit too gloopy for me, so I'm just not going to use it anymore. I think, it had a good run. I used it a lot, but it was always very challenging to use, and I don't want to put up with it anymore. And it's because it goes so close to my eyes, I just don't want to take a chance, and I'm going to recycle that. Then we have this Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Brow Color. And this is a product that I have enjoyed a lot, but I have since found other brushes that help me get a thinner line of application. Like, I don't know if you can tell here, but maybe it's just because it's a little bit old, but the brush is a little bit frayed at the tip. And so it's hard for me to get a really nice clean line and draw on my individual brow hairs, because when I use a brow pen, which I do enjoy, I want to use it to really just draw in individual little hairs. And it's getting kind of hard to do that with this one. I don't know if you can tell, but that line is too thick for me. I have very, very fine hair, and it's just too hard for me to get a fine line. Then we have this Almay eyeliner in the shade 207 Brown. This is just too stiff for me. It tugs at my eyes when I try to use it, and it's like I have to put too much pressure to get that line, and it's just very uncomfortable. And you can't really tell on my hand because like the skin on my hand doesn't move. But when I try to apply this to the eye, it definitely tugs far too much. It's uncomfortable to apply, and I just don't enjoy it. There are other eyeliners that I have that work better than this, and so this is going to go. The one thing that tempts me to keep this is that it does have some nice staying power. Like, I'm really rubbing at that, and it's not going anywhere. So that's the one reason I've kept this so long. But honestly, if I don't enjoy applying it because it's so uncomfortable, then I'm just not going to use it. I also have 2 fragrance samples here. They're actually of the same perfume. It's Lancôme La Vie est Belle. And here's the thing. I have an entire bag of little tiny samples like this to go through, and I've been wanting to do it all year, and I haven't gotten around to it yet. And so my New Year's resolution is that I'm going to go through that whole bag. And when I was looking through it, I realized I had 3 of these. And I did try it, and it's nice, but I'm not sure it's me. And so I don't need 3 of the same fragrance. So I am going to give these away because it is a very nice perfume, and I'm just going to keep the one. And if I end up really loving it, I can always go out and buy the perfume. But I have a feeling, just based on testing it, that I'm not going to like it enough to buy it. So I'm just going to give these away, and it's just going to be less clutter. And this is the result of my declutter. Well, most of it. Some of it didn't fit in frame, but everything that did is here. I did a quick count. It looks like I am decluttering over 60 items, which for a preliminary pass through my collection, I think is pretty decent. And I mean, some of the stuff like this, is just expired and it's going to get recycled, but there's so many beautiful things. I mean, there's like an almost new Charlotte Tilbury lipstick I'll be able to give away. This Becca priming set is still sealed, so I think someone will really have fun getting that. This Shiseido eyeshadow is so beautiful. I would keep it, but I have something very similar to it, and I just don't need 2. But it's going to be so much fun giving stuff like that away, because then I know it will get the use that it deserves to get. It won't just be languishing in my collection, weighing me down in the new year, because boy, do I have my work cut out for me next year. I really want to focus on elegantly curating my collection so that I only have things that I genuinely love using. So if product comparisons and reviews and declutters sound like the sort of thing you're interested in, that's probably what I'm going to be doing in the first half of the year. I've got a bunch of traveling to do before that, which is why I'm so glad I got to do this declutter. But once I am back, man, I'm going to have to do a deep dive. So hopefully I'll see you on the other side because you'll have subscribed. But even if you haven't, then I hope you have a great week. I hope you have happy holidays. And I hope that we can all remember that even stumbling can be a form of moving forward. So let's stumble in style.